When someone says, I was born gay, this is the question, how do you answer this question? Now, first and foremost, let's look at the science behind that, because recently even the BBC, which is a left-leaning organization, they put an article saying the so-called gay gene has been debunked. There's no such thing as the gay gene. And the idea of genetics is very new enterprise. Maybe in the last 50 years, anyways, they've been really looking at these kind of things. For the sake of argument, let's say there is a gay gene. What did you say? No problem. Let's just say there's a gay gene. That wouldn't disprove Islam. It wouldn't do anything to our religion. Why? Because I would say, fine, what if there's an incest gene? Sorry to say. Or what if there's a gene that says that somebody's so angry, an aggressive gene? What if there's a thief gene? What if there's a drug addict gene? What if there's a heroin addict gene? What should we do with that gene? Should we express that gene? Let's go and do it. Oh. It doesn't mean if you're predisposed to something that you have to do it. It doesn't mean that. Even if we are agreeing, and we're not agreeing, we think this is nonsense. There's no science that backs this up. But for the sake of argument, and this is what David Hume, he referred to as the is-ought fallacy. This is one of the biggest philosophers. He is the one, he's an atheist from all I remember, yeah? He said that, he's an atheist actually. He said that describing something which is, and saying it has to be that way is a fallacy. Just because something is something, it doesn't mean it has to be like that. So morally speaking, if someone says this is gay gene, this and that, it doesn't mean. Number one. Number two is this. If most people, not even, if some people, if all people were homosexual, there'd be, what? The elimination of the human race. Now think about it. If all people were homosexual, I'm not saying that's hypothesizing this way, but if all people were homosexual, there'd be the elimination of the human. Everyone knows. Okay, fine. If some people are homosexual, we know for a fact that they are higher, their levels of HIV/AIDS is higher, 15 times higher, some say 20 times more higher, STDs higher, pain threshold, all kinds of stuff. Sorry to say, I don't want to talk because it's children, all kinds of things they have to suffer because of what they do, these people. And they're not just, when you have HIV/AIDS, you can transfuse that through blood, you can give that to somebody else. If you have STDs, you can give that to your child, in some way. So by being gay, you are effectively damaging the community. You know that, because it increases the level where you can have AIDS and all of these STDs by fact. Everybody agrees to that, which means you're increasing STDs in society. So it's not, your so-called liberty is encroaching on my liberty now. Now we have to discuss what's more important, your interest or my interest. Why did you have to do this? Why is it so important for you to do these things? So that's the second thing I would say. The individual versus the community interest. Thirdly, we will say, and I make this argument and I've continued making this argument, is that why stop there? It's LGBTQ+, they say. And they say, listen, this is their argument. Let's hear them out. And I've spoken to many homosexuals on the internet. You can find millions of views at this point. It's not like I'm making this up. I say to them, listen, this is wrong, I say, why? I say, why do you say it's right? I say, this is the reason why we say it's right. We're liberals. Anything, you can do anything you want. This is what they say. So long as you don't harm somebody else. Now, of course, point 2 that I just made shows that you are harming somebody else. But let's continue anyway, for the sake of it. So long as you don't harm anyone else, you can do what you want. What's the problem? Be a free country. Free country, you can do what you want. I say, no problem. It's LGBTQ+, yes? So yes. Why is it not LGBTQ+, I? What does I stand for? Incest. Because brother and sister, sorry to say, why do you outlaw this one? Brother and brother, why do you outlaw this one? Why don't you bring them into the group? They're saying you can do whatever you want so long as you don't harm. They say, well, because it can bring deformed babies. So I'm not sorry, but there's ways to prevent that. We know that. Adults in this room know how to prevent this. And what's it to you anyways? Because if you're talking about diseases that come about because of it, you're creating diseases anyways. So why haven't you said to the incest community, if there exists one, come into our LGBTQ? And when I speak to them, they get very triggered. One of them spat on the floor like this. One of the, out of order. Why do you think that one's okay and that one's not okay? I don't understand. One of them actually even said to me, oh, because this one's not natural. How dare you, my friend? Not natural what, man? Are you going to use this argument? You're going to tell me what you're doing is natural. In what way is it natural? Tell me, it's naturally spreading diseases. That's what it's doing. It's naturally creating anatomical differences in the passages of the man. Make him walk and something falls out because he's hurt himself. This is what are you talking about, natural? How can you make natural arguments? This is what they do. And then and now they're trying to, I don't know, in South Africa, inshallah, they will not be doing this, but in the West, they're trying to encroach it on the children now. They're trying to put it into the books of the primary school kids. Like not if his age, but before his age. Do you know what my solution to this is? I believe we should teach sex education. No, not like that. We should teach the Islamic one. The one in the Quran. Which is, this is bad behavior. This is not the behavior.